Hey everybody, it's Ditkaz here again, and today we are finally making my full 2024 anime tier list. Now, in case it's not obvious, these are just going to be my opinions about these shows, and it's only including shows that I specifically watched in 2024, and all of these shows are only on Crunchyroll because I didn't have High Dive yet until the winter 2025 season, which I'm still in the middle of watching as of recording this video. There's quite a few shows here, and I've already talked about all of them at least a little bit in their individual season videos that I've done. So I'm going to try to keep my thoughts really brief here, but there still might be some spoilers in case there are shows maybe you guys haven't watched already. So feel free to kind of skip around the video if I start talking about a show that you haven't seen yet and you don't want spoiled on, or just hold off on this until you are caught up. Either way, it's not going to hurt my feelings here. Also, just like my theme tier lists, I'm going to include a ranked top to bottom list of all these shows as well. This video should have been done way back at the beginning of the year, but I got way behind on everything. That's why all the videos I've released, even though it's been a couple months now, have been behind. So we're going to dive right in here, starting with the winter 2024 season. All right, first up, we have Free Ren in its second core of season 1. And this was an absolutely fantastic show. I can't say enough good things about it. The only reason I would think it's not number 1 on my list is because the second half of the season wasn't quite as good as the first half, in my opinion. I'm not going to fault somebody else if they do think that it was better, but that first half did air in 2023, so this is just based off the second core, but it's still going to be an S rank. Next up, we have Shangri-La Frontier, and we not only got the end of season 1, I believe, the second core, but also the first half of season 2 here in 2024. And this series has maintained a very strong run, and I'm excited to watch the rest of season 2 here once I finish getting caught up with the winter 2025 season and move into the spring 2025 shows. It's also an S rank for me. All right, next up we have Solo Leveling, the first season that aired. While the show does have really great animation and the acting is really good, the story really isn't anything special in my opinion, and I have a whole video that I know a lot of people didn't like. I mean, it still had more likes than dislikes, but it's my most disliked video, and you know, I know it's a really popular show, but I think it's overrated. It's a good show, but it's not this great show like some people talk it up to be. And I think it has way too many cases of wasted character potential. So I'm putting this show in C rank. Next, we have Mashle Season 2. And this series continues to just be incredibly funny in my opinion. And this season had one of the best opening themes of the year. Again, in my opinion. I'm ready for more of this show, assuming we get more of an animated. And this is going to be an A rank. Next up is Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, and this was a solid rom-com series with a lot of great characters, and I'm really hoping that we get more seasons of this, especially after the way the ending kind of faked you out with thinking that she was going to be gone for a long time, and it was just like a miscommunication, and she just went on like this little internship for a couple weeks or whatever it was. So I really want to see more of it. Great show, and this is another A rank. Next show on the list is The Weakest Tamer Began a Journey to Pick Up Trash. This was one of the more adorable anime of the year, and it's another one that I really hope we get to see more of in the future. Loved the show a lot, and this is going to be up here at the top of my A rank. The next show is A Sign of Affection, and this is easily one of the best romance series that I have ever watched. It has beautiful animation and an absolutely fantastic story. I might actually be really upset and looking to fight somebody if there aren't more seasons of this show in the future. It's just that good. It's absolutely an S rank. Next show on the list is Metallic Rouge. And I honestly feel like this is one of the bigger disappointments for me recently. I thought this show had a really cool premise and some fantastic animation. I was really hyped for this show when I saw the trailer for it, but it really just failed to tell an interesting story, in my opinion. Like, some of the characters are cool. Again, the world of it is cool. The concept of it seemed really great, and it's animated well, but it just kind of falls flat for me personally, story-wise. This one's going to be a C rank for me. The next show on the list is Stupid Angel Dances with the Devil. I thought this show had some really funny moments to it, and it has a pretty good premise. I like a lot of the characters, but some of it isn't really executed as well as some other shows on this list, but it's still a solid show, so I'm going to put this one in B rank. Next up on this list, we have The Unwanted Undead Adventurer. I absolutely loved this show from start to finish, and I can't wait for more. It's another one that I'm probably going to be pretty upset if there aren't more seasons of it. The animation maybe isn't the absolute best, but it's still really, really good. There's nothing really super flawed with it. It's just not the top tier that you might see. And again, I give credit to Solo Leveling or like Shangri-La Frontier and Freerun with a lot of its stuff, but it's still really, really high level. The characters are great. Super interesting story. This one's another S rank for me. Next up on our list is Villainous Level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the Demon Lord. This is one of those reincarnated as a villainous in a dating sim style isekai series. A lot of these have come out recently, and this one is one of my favorites of that style, subgenre, whatever you want to call it, so far. I don't know if there's going to be more of this show, but I certainly would watch it if there is, and this one's going to be an A rank as well. Next up is Buchigiri, and this was a kind of silly show, really. I mostly enjoyed this show, but it kind of felt rushed at some points with its story, and not the most satisfying ending. It kind of was up in the air. It was a little weird. The theme songs were really great, though, and I'm going to put this one in B rank. Next up, we have Sengoku Yoko, and both the second part of Season 1 as well as Season 2, or maybe it was all Season 2. I don't remember what all aired, but basically till the end of the show aired this year, well, in 2024, and it is what I currently want to say is the biggest disappointment that I can think of in terms of shows that I've watched. I thought it had a great premise, but an incredibly underwhelming story when it actually came out, and it really kind of had like subpar animation, and that's all capped off with one of the worst endings, in my opinion, especially as I kind of complained in the seasonal video, the very, very end with the fourth wall break that was completely unnecessary and severely irritated me. This show is absolutely going in D rank. Next up, we have Tales of Wedding Rings. While this is a more pervy series at times, it actually tells a very interesting story, in my opinion, and it has a lot of great characters. Like, the whole cast is really cool. I've read ahead in the manga from where the anime ends, and I'm really, really hoping that we get more of it animated, because the story it keeps getting better, in my opinion. And this series is going to be an A rank for me. The final show from winter 2024 is The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic. I thought this was another very interesting isekai series with a great cast that hopefully gets more seasons. It's a really cool concept. It sets itself up to have more going forward, and hopefully we get it because it's great. And this one's also going to be A rank. All right, first show for spring 2024, we have I Was Reincarnated as the Seventh Prince, so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability. This is a show with beautiful animation and some very interesting world building. I like a lot of the characters, and I'm really looking forward to watching the second season here as soon as I get to that point on my watch list. I don't remember exactly when it aired during 2025, but I'm still, like I said, still in the winter series. I'm about halfway through it, I think, something like that. So I've got a bit to go before I get back into season 2 of this, but this is an S rank for me from 2024. The next show is Chillin' in Another World with Level 2 Super Cheat Powers. It's an interesting fantasy world to fantasy world isekai series with some very wonderful characters, but overall it just isn't as good as some of the other series on this show. It's still good, but there are definitely a lot better, so this one's going in B rank for me. The next show is The Banished Former Hero Lives as He Pleases. This is honestly a pretty average isekai series that has some decent characters, but some story issues and not really great animation in my opinion, so it's going to be going in C rank. Next up we have Remonster, and this is another disappointing adaptation for me personally. I think it really suffered from bad animation, and it's going to go in D rank. Next up, we have Unnamed Memory. I thought this was a wonderful show that had me incredibly upset with its ending before I found out that there's actually like more of the story, that it was only half of it was told, and there's a whole second season that was coming out. This is before it fully got announced, or at least before I looked it up that it was announced, that it was confirmed that it was coming. So it continues the storyline. I accidentally read some spoilers, so I know a little bit about what happens in the second season, but that's all right. I'm super excited for it, and this show is going in A rank. The next show on the list is Oblivion Battery. Mappa is pretty much always solid with their shows in my opinion, and this baseball series was absolutely awesome, and I'm really hoping that we get more of it soon. I'm not a baseball fan in general, but I like a lot of sports anime. This series was super funny, it was really cool, well animated, I like the characters. It's an A rank. Next up we have Konosuba Season 3. While this is not my favorite season of this show, it does keep going really strong with lots of good laughs. The characters are obviously still great. It just feels like not a whole lot happens in this season. It doesn't build that much going on there. And there's just overall a little bit funnier moments in seasons 1 and 2, but it's still a good show, and it's still going to be an A rank for me. Next up, we have A Condition Called Love. This is a good romance series, but the animation could be better, and there's some kind of really strange things with the way the storyline happens and some of the characters. It seems like there's more to the story. I don't know if there's going to be another season. I'll watch it if there is, but overall there are still just some better shows, so this one's going to go in B rank. Next up, we have Windbreaker. I really love this show so much. Each fight sequence from episode to episode seems like it gets better and better, with some of like the best, incredible, awesome choreography I've seen, like fight choreography in an anime. And I'm really excited to watch season 2. I've seen some things with like different characters that they introduced and stuff like that. I'm really hyped for it. This is another S rank for me. Next up, we have That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3. This is another solid season of Slime, with a very serious first half and a much more lighthearted second half of the season. I really enjoyed it a lot. Looking forward for more of this story. This one's going to be an A rank for me. Next up, we have Misfit of Demon King Academy Season 2 Part 2. And this is another show that could have had better animation. The season was all right, but overall the show just kind of feels a little messy, and I'm going to put this one in C rank. Next up, we have Kaiju number 8, and this is another new show that I loved so much, and I can't wait for season 2. I can't really say enough about it, and again, I'm trying to keep things brief. This one's going to be an S rank. Next up, we have The New Gate, and this is a far from great adaptation of a manga that I really enjoy. The story is still really good, but the animation is just super low tier, especially for what I was really hoping it would be. So this series is going in C tier. Next up is Dragon Raja: The Blazing Dawn. This show was originally released in Chinese a couple of years back, but then it came out in a Japanese dub, just like in 2024. The show looks great, like it's incredible. The theme songs are really good too, but the story just feels like it's missing some exposition or something. I'm not sure what it is. It's not bad, but it's just a little weird. Like I said, it feels like I'm missing something. I know there's supposed to be at least 1 or 2 more arcs of it. I think they have already been confirmed to be animated. Maybe some of them have even already aired in Chinese. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but this is going to be another B tier for me. Next is Demon Slayer, the Hashira training arc. This is easily the least interesting season of Demon Slayer so far. The animation is still really good, but this feels like there should have been way less episodes of this, and it should have just been part of like a larger season. Like if they'd have done this and the Infinity Castle, like what they've done of the Infinity Castle in the movie, if they do like they did with Mugen Train and make it like so many episodes of an anime, they could make those episodes and then could have taken less episodes of this, like condensed this into less episodes, put it in front of an episodic version of Infinity Castle, and it would have been a much better all-around season. It would have flowed better. It's just a little bit weird, but it's still, like I said, looks great, and the ending was solid, getting you real hyped up for Infinity Castle, which was a fantastic movie. This one's going to be in a B rank for me. Next up, we have Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation Season 2, Part 2, and this series just keeps getting better and better in my opinion, and this season had not only some of the happiest parts of the show so far, but also some of the saddest parts of the series by far, with things that happen. You know, you have things like his family getting larger with marriage and children, as well as his family getting smaller with his dad dying, which was heartbreaking in my opinion to see that whole thing. But great show all around. Looking forward to more. This is another S rank for me. Last one for the spring season is As a Reincarnated Aristocrat, I'll Use My Appraisal Skill to Rise in the World. This was a show that I almost passed on, and it ended up being one of my favorites of the year after this first season, and then the second season aired at the end of the year, and it just confirmed that it's one of my favorites. It's a great show, start to finish. Looking forward to more, because I can't imagine they don't do more seasons of it. Great show, great characters, great music, animation, everything. This is another S rank. All right, now on to the summer 2024 season, and we're starting with the Osan newbie adventurer trained to death by the most powerful party became invincible. This is a decent show, but really not much happened story-wise, and it could have used better animation, so I'm going to put this one in C rank. Next up, we have Shy Season 2, and this is another decent Shy season, although I can't say I was completely happy with the ending of the season, just me personally, and this is going to be a B rank for me. That's Shy. There it is. Switched out the Sengoku Yoko picture with Season 2. I don't know why I still had the first season key art in there. Next up, we have No Longer Allowed in Another World. I thought this was actually a very interesting show that, like many of the others, really just suffered from lesser animation. Also, it kind of has some weird pacing, in my opinion. It's not a terrible show, but it really could have been a lot better, and it's going to be a C rank for me. Next up, we have Alia Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian, and I think this is a fantastic show with a very unique dynamic between the two main characters, and I absolutely hope there's more of it. This is another S rank for me. Next show is My Dear Friend Nokotan, and as much as it was incredibly virally popular because of the theme song, it's a funny show, but overall it's really just average in my opinion, so I'm going to put this one in C rank. Next on the list, we have Love is Indivisible by Twins. I felt like this was a really well done romance series that uses colors and camera work to play off the characters' emotions really, really well, and this one's going to be an A rank. The next show is The Strongest Magician in the Demon Lord's Army Was a Human. And although this show still doesn't have the best animation compared to some other shows on this list, it's not the worst. And the story for it is just super, super interesting, and it's very well done in my opinion. So I'm putting this show in A rank. Okay, that one's there. Next on the list, we have Days with My Stepsister. This is another decent romance series, and this one it's very sad for most of the show, but it's still a pretty good watch, and I'm going to put this one in B rank. Next up is The Cafe Terrace and Its Goddesses Season 2. I still really, really enjoy this show. Again, I like every Seo Koji product, show, whatever you want to say, series. Although this second season I don't think is quite as good as the first one for me personally, this is still going to be a B rank for me. Next up we have Failure Frame. I became the strongest and annihilated everything with low-level spells. Absolutely, this show is one of the better stories out there, but the heavy use of really, really atrociously bad 3D CG takes this show way, 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 way down for me, to where what probably should have been like a high B, maybe even an A, or if it had really, really good animation, I might have even considered this an S rank. This show's actually going into C rank because the animation with the 3D is just that bad, that badly done. So it's C rank for sure. C rank for sure. I'm actually going to go ahead and put both pictures for both seasons of Sengoku Yoko and Appraisal. That's why they're next to each other there. Just because, why not? I have them in there. Might as well put them in there so I don't have anything stuck down at the bottom here. All right. Next series is Bye Bye Earth. This is a kind of weird, very musically inspired series with a very strange ending / setup for season 2 that I wasn't a huge fan of. I like the show in general. It looks pretty. It has some interesting characters, some interesting things going on with it, but I'm not sure I'm liking where the story is going so far at like this ending portion of it. So I'm putting this one in C rank. Next up, we have Dahlia in Bloom. And this is a very interesting fantasy slice of life / romance anime. Like, the romance kind of takes a back seat for most of the show. But it has very vibrant colors and a really good cast. I think it's really cool. It's not top tier, but it is a really good show. It's rock solid. And we're going to put this one in B rank. The next show is Why Does Nobody Remember Me in This World? This is another pretty interesting story that's absolutely held back by animation quality that's just average overall, so it kind of makes the whole show just average overall, in my opinion. So I'm putting this one in C rank. Next show on the list is My Wife Has No Emotion. This show was really different and quite enjoyable, but not an upper tier show, so I'm going to put this one in B rank. Next on the list, we have A Nobody's Way Up to an Exploration Hero. This is another story that I found really interesting, but it could have used at least a little bit better animation. It was better than some of the other ones, and the story was really cool. Hopefully we get more of it, and this one's going to be a B rank. Next on our list, we have Makaine, Too Many Losing Heroines. I thought this was a very, very enjoyable rom-com with a kind of strange dynamic that I really, really hope gets more seasons. It's really cool. I'd like to see things kind of, whether they add more losing heroines to his kind of pseudo semi-harem, though none of them want to admit it yet so much. All the girls so far have been really cool. And I'd like to see where things end up if they actually have like a resolution to how all of their relationships end up. And this is going to be an A rank for me. Next up, we have Wistoria, Wand and Sword. And this is an incredible fantasy series by the same author as Dan Machi, who I sadly can't remember his name off the top of my head. Actually, give me 1 second. Just went and looked at one of the light novels there. Fujino Omori, the dude's a genius. It's the same author as Dan Machi, Fujino Omori, and he reuses a lot of characters and concepts between the two series. So whether or not they're actually kind of connected in one way or another, I kind of hope to find out at some point. I'm going to get the light novels for this series as well because I loved it. There absolutely needs to be more of this show. It's an S rank. Stamp of approval. Next up, we have VTuber Legend, How I Went Viral After Forgetting to Turn Off My Stream. I thought this was a very funny series that, personally, I think it does a very good job of capturing that vibe of, like, the more degenerate VTubers that you see out there. A lot of the ones that I follow have those kind of degenerate tendencies, and it kind of has that same vibe, especially, like, when they do the multiple character episodes. It feels like you kind of have those collabs, that chaos of it all, and it's a pretty good show. There's better, but it's still really funny. It's animated well. The live 2D is great. This one's going to be a B rank. All right, now we're finally on to the fall 2024 season. And the first show on the list is The Most Notorious Talker Runs the World's Greatest Clan. I thought this had a pretty interesting story, really cool characters, not the greatest animation, but it's not terrible, and we're going to put this one in B rank. Next on the list is I'll Become a Villainess Who Goes Down in History. This might be the only villainous isekai that I've watched where the main character actually claims that she's trying to be a villainess, even if her actions always end up actually being good things for everybody and turning out good, and she's not really evil at all. It's decent, but it's not my favorite. It's going to be a B rank. Next up, we have Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. I think this is a solid rom-com with an interesting, like, dream premonition aspect to it that I still have to actually watch the second core of here. I'll get into that here real soon, and it's going to be an A rank. Next up, we have ReZero Season 3. This is another great season of ReZero, and I'm looking forward to getting through all of the rest of this season, because again, I haven't watched the second half of it yet, and I'm still working on getting caught up with these. It's absolutely another S rank for me. All right, next on this list is Dan to Dan, and this is absolutely peak cinema show, bar none. This show's fantastic. Great animation, great characters, great music. The colors, everything is super cool. I recommend it to everybody that I talk to about it. It is the perfect example of a show living up to all the hype that it got online. It might have even surpassed it, in my opinion. Great show, S rank, #1 show for me of the year. Next up, we have Mecha Ude, and this is a very flashy and cool show with what feels like kind of a rushed story and a lackluster ending. A lot of the characters are cool, the animation's good, it all flows well, but it just kind of doesn't do it for me at the end with its storyline. It's cool, but it just can't nail the ending. The second half of it is a little rough. It feels like it was done too quickly, in my opinion, and there should have been more to this story. So it's going to be a B rank for me. Next up, we have Goodbye Dragon Life. This is one of the more interesting recent fantasy stories that I've watched, but it still could have had a little bit better animation. It was good enough, though, and I'm hoping there's more of it. I'm going to put this one in A rank. Next up, we have Negative Positive Angler. This is a very sad show. Like, it definitely goes for the feels really hard. That uses fishing as kind of a vehicle for the characters' friendships to kind of develop and grow. And I thought there was a really good chance that it was going to be really, really sad at the end. but it ended up having a happy ending. It was a good show all around. Not the best show, but solid show, and it's going to be a B rank. Next up, we have Sword Art Online GGO Alternative Season 2. This season had a really strong start, an uninteresting to me twist in the middle that kind of ruined that whole first big arc of it, and then a really super cool ending arc that the twist at the end I thought was really, really cool, kind of brought it back up a little bit. But overall, I'm still going to put this one in B rank. Next, we have Blue Lock Season 2. The story and characters are still really phenomenal in this show, but the animation quality noticeably went down this season compared to the first, and that's kind of disappointing, so this is actually going to be a B rank for me. Next on this list, we have Demon Lord 2099. This is a very unique fantasy sci-fi combo anime that's also a kind of quasi isekai series. I had the conversation with my buddy, and we're kind of still kind of up in the air on whether or not we want to consider this a full-on isekai, because the world is part his own world, but it is still a new world, so maybe it is. It's kind of a half the isekai series. Great show. Technically, this first season only covered the first 2 light novels, so I don't know exactly how many there are, but I would assume there's still plenty more storyline to see, so hopefully we get more of it. Solid job. This one's going to be an A rank. I just realized I missed a couple shows earlier, so we're going to go back here. Back in the winter 2024 season, I missed the Strongest Tanks Labyrinth raids. I thought this was a pretty wholesome series with a decent story, but some of the weaker animation on the season overall. I'd still watch more if we do get future seasons of it, but it's far from the best, and this one's going to be a C rank for me. And then I also missed in the spring season, Mysterious Disappearances. This show was very unique, but it had a bit of a weird pace to it and left off on a really weird point. I enjoyed it, but there's definitely better series. I don't know if there's going to be more of it. Maybe. I will watch it if it does. It's going to be a B rank for me. All right, back to the fall shows, the last 2 on this list. Next up, we have You Are Miss Servant. And this is a slice of life romance series with a lot of heart and a lot of potential if it gets continued, so hopefully we get more seasons of it. This is going to be another A rank for me. And last on the list, we have Let This Grieving Soul Retire, which, as far as I know, it has already been confirmed that we're getting, or maybe it's already started with the second season has aired. I don't remember for sure. But anyways, this is a funny and somewhat interesting setting and backstory with a great cast and decent animation. But again, not a whole lot happens in the story. I still really enjoyed it, and if I'm correct, and if I'm remembering correctly that we're getting more, I'll definitely watch the next season of it and see where it goes from there. But for now, this is going to be a B rank for me. And there's my tier list for all the anime that I watched from 2024. For anyone interested, here's also the top to bottom numerical ranking of all of these shows. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be trying to get my whole year theme tier list out next week. So I'm still trying to get caught up on the 2025 shows, but I've got part of it scripted out already, so it should be ready to go and record and hopefully get out here, like I said, on pace for next week. As I finish getting caught up with those shows, as I continue to work through that, I'll start working on getting the seasonal videos out for each of those shows, starting with the winter 2025 season that, like I said, I think I'm about halfway through at the time of recording this video. If you want to check out more of my content, you can catch me streaming once I get back into it after I get caught up with some of this stuff still at twitch.tv/ditkaz. That's DITKAZ. Thanks for watching as always, and have a great day, everybody.